December 4th meeting of the Lowell License Commission. Secretary Nguyen, was the meeting posted?
Yes.
Item number 1, please.
With respect to minutes for a meeting from November 20th, 2014,
Commissioner Krieger? Motion by Commissioner Krieger to approve, seconded by Commissioner Hogan. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2, please.
the second item is special one-day license applications to sell and dispense all alcoholic beverages. Louis Silveira of the Holy Ghost Society for Saturday, December 13th, 2014, from 1:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. for Brazilian Night at the Holy Ghost Park, 65 Village Street. Also, Mr. Silveira has application for Wednesday, December 31st, from 4 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. for the New Year's Eve celebration at Holy Ghost Park, 65 Village Street. And in conjunction with those two applications, there is a request by the Holy Ghost Society. Olympia, Brazil, had requested a credit for a license event that had been canceled. He had stopped by the License Commission office November 21st. For this event was to be held on November 22nd.
Could you state your name for the record, please?
My name is Louis Silvera.
Mr. Silveira, have you had a license before, one-day license?
No, sir.
You have not?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have any background at all in alcohol business?
Yes, right. I'm a current bartender at the Holy Ghost.
You're a bartender there? Okay. Questions, comments from the board?
Move approval.
Move for approval by Commissioner Hogan, seconded by Commissioner Krieger. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Concerning number 3, make a motion that we do credit the Holy Ghost Society.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Hogan. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Since you have not had a license before, I'm sure Mr. Nguyen has gone through the process.
Yes.
Make sure the police's phone number is by your side, and if you have any problems, give them a call, okay?
Yes, sir. I'm familiar.
You're well aware, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck with your events.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Public hearing on the application by the Catchismith Pub, Inc., the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 726 Gorham Street. It is requested for change of corporate officer, a sole director, sole shareholder, and manager of record. Presently, the sole officer, director, shareholder, and manager is William E. Hoey. It is requested that those titles be changed to Tracy E. Flynn of Windham, New Hampshire. A legal notice had been published in the local newspaper on November 21st.
Good evening, Counselor. State your name for the record.
Victor Forsley, Mr. Chairman. Nice to see you this evening.
You as well, Mr. Forsley.
Thank you. We're here requesting permission to transfer the shares of stock in Catchismith to Ms. Flynn. Ms. Flynn, the application has been submitted. We went through it with Mr. Nguyen, and it appears to be in order. And we're hoping that you take that into consideration and allow the transfer to take place. I'm sorry. Ms. Flynn is, well, you can ask her as to her qualifications, and
That'll be fine. Thank you,
very
Counselor.
impressive, and I hope you agree.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I did notice in the packet that Mr. Nguyen gave us, you are tip certified.
Yes, sir.
Certified, yeah.
And also, I believe there was a certificate of crowd management as well.
Correct.
I saw. Can you give us a little background in the alcohol beverage business that would make you want to become the manager and sole shareholder of the
Sure.
Catchismith Pub?
I've been in the business for almost 20 years. I worked in several bars, including the Worthen, as well as the Catchismith. The opportunity arose, I got excited because I've always wanted to own my own bar.
Mhm. Have you been working with Mr. Hoey at all in the
have.
transition?
I have.
You
and,
have?
Mr. Hoey has agreed to stay on through the transition period as I get acclimated more to it.
Okay.
I've bartended, I've managed, I've filled in when Mr. Hoey needs me to, so I feel like I'm qualified.
So you know the Catchismith pretty well?
I do.
Okay, good. Captain Kenny, how are things going on at the Catchismith?
Pretty quiet, Mr. Chairman. No issues of note as of late.
Very good. Questions and comments from the board, please?
Mr. Chair, I move approval.
Second.
Second. Motion by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Hogan. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Flynn, good luck with the establishment. Mr. Hoey, good job for the last many years that you've been there.
Thank you very much.
Time for retirement, sir?
Time for retirement.
Attaboy.
Time to chase the kids around, John.
Thank you very much.
much.
Thank you very much. Everyone, have a nice Christmas.
Thank you.
Next item under the agenda is application by the Lowell Lodge Number 87 BPO Elks of USA, the all-alcoholic beverages club licensee at 40 Old Ferry Road for change of manager from Susan Lawrenson to Paul F. Palladino of Linfield, Mass.
Could you state your name for the record, please?
Paul F. Palladino.
Mr. Palladino, looks as though you've been a member for the Elks for quite a few years.
Yes, I have,
All
over
right.
20.
And in what capacity? Just a member, or have you been management or bartender?
I also manage Brayburn Country Club. I'm the bar manager there for 22 years.
You have?
Yes.
Okay. Questions, comments from the board?
Move approval.
Move for approval by Commissioner Hogan, seconded by Commissioner McGovern. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Palladino, good luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Talk to you later.
Two items for the commission just to ratify legal notice publications. The first being an application by the CEC Entertainment, Inc., the malt beverage and wine only restaurant licensee for premises at 199 Plain Street, unit number 5. That is commonly referred to as Chuck E. Cheese. They're the corporate office in Texas. They've initiated a change of corporate offices, and they're requesting a local manager change. But in addition to this, they are now a privately held entity. Their corporate shares are held by a corporation known as Quiso Holdings, Inc. Due to the fact that there is this stock transaction, it does require legal notice to be published. It's scheduled to be published for the local newspaper on December 5th, which is tomorrow morning, and in anticipation of a hearing to be held at the next regular meeting, December the 18th.
Make a motion that we be hearing the application on December 18th, seconded by Commissioner Krieger. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll hear the application on the 18th.
Second application is by the Chumsted Street Quick Mart, Inc., Johnny Kairou's manager, a malt beverage and wine only package store licensee. It is requesting its change of location from its present site at 309 Chumsted Street to a new building which is identified as 299 Chumsted Street. A legal notice is scheduled for publication tomorrow, Friday, December 5th, and it is for hearing to be held on December 18th, should the board so ratify.
This is the operation across the street from the school.
Correct.
I move that we hold the hearing on the 18th.
Motion by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner Hogan. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? We'll see them on the 18th as well.
Number 8 on our agenda is the continuation of a public hearing initiated in November 6th on the application for transfer of the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license by Mill City Ballroom, Inc., Joel Asadorian, president, from the licensee known as Beck's, Inc., doing business as Brian's Ivy Hall, Kevin Hayes, president for premises at 74 Merrimack Street. That is the 3rd floor only.
Good evening. State your name for the record,
Good
please.
evening, Commissioner. My name is Gregory Curtis. I'm an attorney with the Office of Goldman & Curtis, 144 Merrimack Street, and I'm here tonight on behalf of Mill City Ballroom, Inc. With me is Joel Asadorian, who is the president and director of Mill City Ballroom, Inc., the potential purchaser of the location at 74 Merrimack Street, formerly Brian's Ivy Hall, Beck's, Inc. We're here tonight for the transfer of the all-alcoholic license and also the license for the common vicular and the entertainment license. Mr. Asadorian he's from Londonderry, New Hampshire. He's been involved with the business of restaurants and marketing and bar use up in the Manchester area for several years, and also here with him tonight is Dan Lucas, who's been in the business for about 15 years. They're both TIP certified, they're crowd management certified, safe and serve certified, so they're well aware of the requirements that need to be in place. They're looking to keep a viable business active in the downtown Lowell area. They want to do reunions, they want to do functions, possibly weddings, corporate gatherings. As everybody knows here, that's a large space upstairs on the 3rd floor where this is located, and they think they can really do a good job with it. Also, some entertainment, music. So they're looking forward to working with the city and being a good neighbor with the city and the licensing board. They have the experience. They've entered into a lease with the present owner with several options for 4 to 5 years out, so they're committed to it, and I think they'll do a fine job. I open it up to the board for questions regarding that. I know most of the packet, in talking to Ryan Wynn, is complete, along with certificate of good standing from the DOR regarding the current owner. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Curtis. You had just mentioned that their plan is to use the ballroom as functions, reunions, that type of thing. Should this board assume that we will not be having rap music every Thursday and Friday and Saturday night over
Yeah,
at?
might be a little country music, but I don't think there's going to be much in the way of rap music. There'll be entertainment, but they're well aware of, what the requirements are, and that they're in a downtown area where there's a lot of people that live, there's a lot of elderly that live in the area, and they don't want to be a situation where they become a problem for the police department. I know there's been a lot of issues in the past, but they're well aware of that, and I think they're looking to change the whole concept of how that establishment's been run.
We appreciate that.
Okay.
Mr. Asadori and Mr. Lucas, you've been quite patient in this whole process, and as the chairman of this board, I appreciate your patience and your professionalism at this point. I will open up the questions or comments to the rest of the board.
I would just have one comment. We've had some issues with some of the neighbors down there about overflowing trash in the back alley. So if you guys could just keep an eye on that, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah, we actually spoke with her directly, too.
Oh, great,
I
okay.
totally understand.
Perfect.
I wouldn't want trash in my
You can-
backyard.
Thank you.
Commissioner McCarthy?
No, I'm all set.
Commissioner McGovern?
Nope, that's not this one.
Commissioner Krieger?
Well,
So, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
they are going to have to buy some light bulbs for up there. The last time I was there, it was pretty dark.
We hope you come do some line dancing with us on Fridays. That would be great.
Well, you got Mr. Krieger's vote, that's for sure. Safe to assume then, Counsel, Mr. Rossetti, Mr. Veloso, that everything is in order for this transfer, correct?
Anything this board decides would still be subject to approval by the ABCC.
Yep.
There is still the pending appeal of the sanction that had been meted out as to Beck's doing business as Brian's Ivy Hall. So
Understood.
there's still that, that issue still lingers.
Commissioner Krieger?
And does something also linger with regard to Finn's Pub?
Why don't we take that up on the next agenda item? How's that?
Well, I was just wondering, I
Actu-
mean,
I would
the
recommend.
Beck's thing, is there some reason that we would continue it and use it against the new owners?
I guess I would answer at, by making 2 points. First, with respect to Finn's Pub, as the chairman indicated, I would, and consistent with what the chairman stated, I would recommend reserving questions regarding Finn's Pub until we convene the public hearing on Finn's Pub. To the extent the board wishes to discuss the pending disciplinary/litigation matters involving the current license holder, I would recommend that the board convene an executive session.
Procedurally, this is a public hearing, so I will open up the public hearing at this time. Anybody like to speak in favor? In favor? in favor, with no one speaking in favor, that portion of the public hearing is closed. Anybody like to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? Hearing none, that portion of the public hearing is closed. Obviously, the past history, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Commissioner Krieg, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. So there's this open question about, in my mind, about what is it that's hanging over the head of the new operation, if anything, and what we can do about it. If that means we need to go into an executive session, I would request we do that.
Okay. Obviously, Counselor, Mr. Asadori, Mr. Lucas, you know the past has been less than smooth over there, over at Brian's Ivy Hall. And it is this board's hope and the city's hope that you turn this around and make this a prosperous business and a successful business for yourself and something that the city can be proud of and another asset for downtown. That's our hope. And we hope it's your hope as well. All right. Counselor, do you have another comment?
The only comment I have is if there is pending, and I have come into this late, if there's pending actions against the prior owner that have been appealed down to the ABC, those are going to come up down at the ABC, and there may be an issue with the ABC at that point that they will have to deal with that matter, or if the matter gets resolved prior to issuing a approval of the license transfer. That's my understanding from
That is
the
true.
legal point. I would think that would happen, but again, from a perspective of the city, with a new owner coming in, it almost becomes sort of a moot issue at that point, and hopefully can be resolved and we can move forward and not dwell on, you know, the law department and private counsel having to deal with what's happened in the past. We want to make this work. We want it to be they want to be a good neighbor. They understand the downtown community. I've been down there 30 years. I know the alley behind there. I'm right at 144 Merrimack Street. I think it's going to be a great place that people can go down. There's a lot of lawyers. There's a lot of people that would love to go grab a burger or go into the Finn Pub area. So,
Hopefully, he won't need you.
yeah.
Captain Kenny, any comments?
The only comment I would have, Mr. Chairman, obviously where the building is situated, the back wall and the back wall of the mall is loft almost abut, so they're very close together. And in the past, music and I think that's what Chairman Dakota was getting at earlier, the rap music, that type of entertainment has been problematic just because of the physical location of both buildings. So I would ask that you take that into consideration when you're considering the type of entertainment that you're going to offer in that venue.
Definitely. Yeah, I have no problem with that. We know the proximity across, and there's the housing and the elderly that are there, and even in the Sun Building down the street. So you have to take that into consideration of what decibel levels are going to be, if you're going to have music, what nights it's going to be, how long it's going to go till, and that will have to be taken into consideration, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you, Captain Kennedy. What is the wish of the board? Commissioner Krieger.
I'd like to better understand what's hanging over and possibly delaying this transfer. So if we have to move into executive session to fully understand that, I would move that we move into executive session, get it over and done with, and come back and take our vote.
Attorney Rossetti.
Mr. Chairman, following Commissioner Krieger's input, it's my recommendation that to the extent the board wishes to move to go into executive session, the motion should be made that the board so moves in order to discuss litigation strategy, the public discussion of which may negatively impact the city's position in litigation.
Understood. I have a further question concerning that. If in fact this board would want to go into executive session with the next agenda item, would we be able to do that at the same time, or would we have to convene back here and ask for executive session once again?
You could open the second public hearing and cover, actually, I think we would be able to if the board so moves, we would be able to, address those issues in that executive session.
Simultaneously.
Yes.
Okay. There's a motion by Commissioner Krieger to go into executive session to discuss pending litigation. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner McCarthy. Roll call, Secretary Wynn.
Chairman Dakota,
Yay.
Commissioner Krieger,
Yes.
Commissioner Hogan,
Yes.
Commissioner McCarthy,
Yes.
Commissioner McGovern.
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Convene to the mayor's reception room, please.
Commission will reconvene in the council chamber for regular session.
believe we need a roll call, Secretary Nguyen.
Commissioner now entertain a motion to go into regular session. Commissioner Dakota,
Yes.
Chairman Dakota, excuse me. Commissioner Krieger,
Yes.
Commissioner Hogan,
Yes.
Commissioner McCarthy,
Yes.
Commissioner McGovern.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your patience. We can do our due diligence. Thank you. Any additional questions or comments from the board?
Make a motion that we approve?
Motion by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Hogan. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Item
you
agenda
very
number
much.
9.
Thank you.
Commissioner now open a public hearing, continued from November 6th, on the application for transfer of the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license by Mill City Suds, Inc., Joel Asadorian, President, from Hayhurst Group, Inc., doing business as Finn's Pub, Kevin Hayhurst, President, for premises at 7686 Merrimack Street, which is the first floor and second floor premises at 7686 Merrimack Street. Also, it's proposed that Dan Lucas be approved as the manager of record for Mill City Suds, Inc.
For formality, Counselor, state your name.
Again, Attorney Gregory Curtis from Goldman and Curtis and Lowell, here on behalf of Mill City Suds, Inc. Again, Joel Asadorian is the president and director of Mill City Suds, Inc., looking to transfer the license at 76 through 78 Merrimack Street. And in this situation, the manager of record will be Daniel Lucas. He's with us also. Mr. Lucas has had over 18 years of experience in the liquor business up in the New Hampshire area. Also is tip certified, crowd control certified, and safe serve certified. He's been involved with not only liquor, but restaurants. The idea is to have a sports bar where they'll serve food and they'll have 7 days a week be able to go in and have food, have drink. They understand, again, the situation that they're in a downtown area, that it's very important to be cognizant of neighbors that are around, and also the elderly that live downtown and other people that live downtown. So again, they're looking for a license for the alcohol consumption and the live music, common vicular license. The hours of operation would be full 7 days a week till closing time. I think his closing starts around 1:30 but ends by 2 o'clock. Everybody is out.
Thank you, Counselor. Mr. Asadorian, Mr. Lucas, any changes to Finn's Pub, which is going to be now Mill City Suds? I mean, is there still the same concept that's going to be in there, or what changes do you plan on making?
I mean, I'm not sure what the concept is right now, but we're definitely going to go more towards the sports. Similar maybe to a Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't know if you've ever
Yep,
been
I
to
have,
one.
yep.
It's relatively new in the area. Something more along those lines there. We definitely want to put a lot more focus on food there, especially during the day. We'd love to have a place for, the local lawyers, school committees, things like that can come in. So that's basically our concept for that.
All right, I'll open it up to the board. Questions? Oh, I apologize, thank you.
Also,
This is-
$5 menu.
$5 menu?
Yeah.
Let's go through the formalities here, a public hearing. Let's open up the public hearing. Anybody in favor to speak? In favor, with no one being heard. That portion of the public hearing is closed. Open up anybody in opposition? Opposition. Hearing from no one, that portion of the public hearing is closed. Thank you, Commissioner Hogan. Questions, comments from the board?
It was my impression that Finn's Pub was catering to college students to some degree. Are you hoping to draw on that same population?
Well, I'll let them speak, but, the college students, a lot of them are younger. It's a sports-type bar, but if you have sports on, you may get college students down there. I mean, the college students can walk right down Merrimack Street now from Lowell, and I've been to many of the hockey games over at the Songus Arena, and it's great to see fan support, and I'm sure you will get college kids downtown. And I think the one thing they have to be aware of is a lot of those college students are underage, so you have to be very careful about who you're checking and IDs, and we all know that very easy for college students to have IDs that maybe aren't too accurate about their age, so they have to be aware of that.
Mr. Asadorian, what is your policy going to be on security there?
There's security there every evening, actually.
Okay.
Tuesday through Saturday,
Tuesday?
even Tuesday, yep.
Okay.
I think right now, I think we're all tentative because we do have an idea of the reputation, and we just want to make sure everyone understands that they're going to be safe in our place, number one, and that we care about security there.
Okay. Captain Kennedy, any comments?
No, I mean, obviously, both of these locations have been problematic in the past, and it is not something that we expect to continue. We expect new ownership and new management to come in with some new ideas, and certainly the police department, and I think I speak for the board, we don't want to deal with the issues we've dealt with in the past down there.
Thank you, Captain. Commissioners?
I move,
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner Hogan to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Gentlemen, I want to wish you both the best of luck in this endeavor. But with your experience that you have, I'm sure you're going to be successful. Captain Kennedy's a resource. Please stay in contact with him. He'll help you out anytime you need the help, for sure. All right?
Yeah, absolutely. We really want to last down here.
We appreciate that.
Do our best for you guys, too.
Counselor, good job.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Thanks a lot.
Excuse me, one other point. I believe, as of today, we still do not have a certificate of good standing from the DOR for Finn's Pub.
Yeah, we're working on that, and I've talked with counsel for present owners, and hopefully that's going to be forthcoming.
Okay, I would ask you to communicate with Secretary Wynn on filing
Definitely.
with the ABC. We don't want this to come back and delay, so I would
Exactly.
ask you to communicate with Secretary Wynn, okay?
Thank you.
If the commission may want me to hold off on sending anything into Boston on this particular transfer application till next week.
What's the normal
so-
time frame for you to send it in?
Well, I
Week?
could send it out tomorrow it would go out in tomorrow afternoon's mail from City Hall. Certainly the Beck's application,
Yeah, we could send the Becks out, and then
would you
a few
prefer
days,
that
let's
I-
wait until next week, and hopefully we can obtain that and have that in the package, so we don't have to then send it down to Boston under separate cover.
Okay,
So why don't you give
I'll be in
Secretary Wynn a
contact,
call,
I'll be in
right?
contact with you.
so
And we do
you'll
that.
get back?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can I just clarify something?
Absolutely.
So, just for the sake of my understanding, you would ask that I would prefer that I hold off on sending that application for Finn's into Boston?
For the short term, until I can get a little bit of grasp if we can get this certificate of good standing from the DOR in a short period of time.
Okay,
If not, we'll send the application in, and we're going to have to deal with the ABC, because they're going to probably not approve it until they have that, or they have an investigation.
there
on it.
is a formal process they
Right.
usually take on such a matter when it doesn't have a certificate, and that could be the end result in the short term when they see this paper.
We're going to work very hard to try to get that certificate shortly.
But we'll
Okay.
send the other application tomorrow,
Right,
okay?
yeah.
Good luck,
We're good.
guys.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Okay.
Thank you.
There is, a couple more items on our agenda on the backside of, on number 10, with respect to the communication that the License Commission Secretary received from the City Treasurer's Office, which was dated November 25th. It's regarding J.J. Boomers of Lowell Lake, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 705 727 Pawtucket Boulevard. It has to do with taxes for real estate and water owed to the City of Lowell for the fiscal years 2012, fiscal year 2013, 2014. We do have, in this Code of Ordinance, City of Lowell, what is known as Chapter 193, which allows the licensing board to schedule a hearing in accordance with that particular chapter of the city ordinance, licenses and permits, on the renewal of the license for Boomers, and that the licensee has taxes owed to the City of Lowell for those fiscal years I just mentioned, so that commission, if it so was inclined, could notify have the board secretary, yours truly, send notice to the Mr. Watson, who is the manager and owner of the Boomers, to appear before the board on this particular subject at the next regular meeting, if.
I actually gave the treasurer's office a call today and was given the number of what is owed to the city, and I gotta tell you, it's quite worrisome. Do we know if J.J. Boomers owns the building?
I can't say certain. I'm guessing it does, but I have to check, obviously check the file. And I have to check to see, in fact, this licensee has been present at that location for 10 years, thereabouts, and it's not uncommon during that period of time that ownership of the building could have changed. There was a financial issue from what I understand, with respect to the licensee that may have caused the property to be somehow.
I guess what worries me is that the city has extended an invitation to work with the owner, and that hasn't come to fruition at this point. So I'll let the other commissioners speak, but I would be in favor of having them come here at our next meeting to discuss. Commissioner Hogan?
Ryan, have they filed to renew their application for next year?
Oh, yes, Mr. Watson has filed his renewal timely. It's on file. I would have every expectation that he would comply with the basic requirements of a renewal. That is, he would have a certificate of liquor liability insurance policy in place for, if not all, but most of calendar year 2015. He would also have his certificate of inspection from the Office of Developmental Services in place. In that respect, he would make sure he had all of his ducks in a row in that matter, so that he could be issued the license.
But regarding the taxes, is there anything that we can do to hold back his license if he doesn't pay the taxes?
Well, that's something the License Commission would have to discuss at a public hearing in terms of this particular situation. From what I understand of Chapter 193, it does allow the city to work with the business owner or the property owner.
Attorney
So-
Veloso? Attorney Veloso?
Yes, as the executive secretary has mentioned, the statute does have that. I'd also just like to mention that the License Commission's rules and regulations also has a provision regarding taxation. It's Regulation 1.07. And under that regulation, it makes it clear that the License Commission expects that for any licensed establishment, that all federal, state, and local taxes are paid in full as part of its operations. In the event that a licensed establishment fails to pay the taxes owed, the License Commission is authorized and empowered through Rule 1.07 to take, as is noted in the rule, all appropriate action to such a matter. In my opinion, if the taxation is deemed by the License Commission a public hearing to be an issue, they can certainly withhold approval of an application, or they could revoke, suspend, or otherwise take disciplinary action on the licensee for failure to pay taxes through that rule and the other statutes that have been cited by the Executive Secretary.
Okay. Can we ask the treasurer once again, Executive Secretary Nguyen, to reach out again to the owners over there?
Well, I'm not in a position to suggest that to the city treasurer, I don't think.
Okay.
I would know that the city treasurer has gone to the law department and sought the License Commission input in having this matter addressed. That was the tack that was taken by the city treasurer
I got you.
last week.
I got you.
So given that 193 Tac 2 says the tax collector, whoever that would be, shall have the right to intervene in any hearing conducted, we conduct a hearing, I would like to move that we conduct a hearing. And I would assume that the tax collector, being the tax collector, would make some final check with J.J. Boomers before he showed up.
I'm not sure if we can have a public hearing on that, though, can we?
Yes.
Well, hearing, it would be a hearing, not
Hearing,
necessarily a
hearing,
public
yeah.
hearing
Right,
in the context of a transfer.
Agenda item.
all right.
Make it an agenda.
I have a question, Ryan. How did it go so far down the road? I mean, the license has been renewed several times.
That's a loaded question, Commissioner McCarthy.
Well, but I mean, they want to throw it back in our lap.
Right.
I just think that it's been 3 years, and I think we should go. I don't have a problem with it.
Well, it's,
Why don't we do this?
it begs, we could look at all of our licensees and,
Let's not put Ryan in the corner here, so. I make a motion that we have J.J. Boomers here on our next meeting to discuss, to have a hearing.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Hogo. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We will see J.J. Boomers on December 18th.
And if I may, if you are scheduling a public hearing,
well, hearing.
It's not a public hearing,
okay,
just a hearing.
just a hearing.
And then we would get advice from legal counsel that if that 1.07, is that,
Yes, that would be Rule 1.07.
so I guess we can take it from there. That's pretty self-explanatory, what we can and can't do.
Certainly, and the authority is quite broad as to what disciplinary action you can take.
Thank you, Counsel. Last item on
Okay,
the
I'm
agenda.
sorry. Yeah, it's now that we've continued to the last item on our agenda is a motion by Commissioner Krieger through the Secretary for Law Department to prepare a pamphlet for board members, police, and the legal counsel of licensees on the subject of what is acceptable evidence and not acceptable evidence for hearings held by the License Commission.
Commissioner Krieger.
As stated, we had a unfortunate exchange of views here several meetings ago in which a lawyer for a licensee disagreed with our esteemed counsel, and I thought it would be good if we had some common basis here at the table for understanding what's good and bad, so that we can do a fair job of adjudicating, respecting the rights of the licensees and the lawyers, respecting our rights and responsibilities as members of the License Commission. Thank you.
If I may,
Attorney Veloso.
in addressing Commissioner Krieger's question, in terms of the authority of the License Commission, and I sort of looked at the law, and I discussed the matter with sort of the ABCC. The License Commission and the ABCC are deemed administrative agencies, and essentially they have what is deemed a quasi-judicial function. As a quasi-judicial function, they are not a court of law, and as such, they are not bound by the rules of evidence. As a result, the authority of both the License Commission and the ABCC to take in various sources of information and evidence is quite broad. The License Commission can take in hearsay evidence, it can take in any sort of documentation or testimony, and the essential standard in which such information is received is each commissioner takes the evidence that they've received in a hearing and weighs it and sort of gives it the weight that they feel it deserves. And the reason for such a broad standard is because you're not a court of law and you're not bound by the rules of evidence. The idea is that as an administrative agency, they want to make sure that you have as broad authority as possible in adjudicating various matters that come before you. And that because you are commissioners and not attorneys per se, that the goal is that you can adjudicate and not worry about the standards of review that attorneys or official courts of law would have to face, as befitting your administrative function.
I think we're up to at least 3.5 pages in this pamphlet already. I just think that having something that we can make available would be good for ourselves and future commissioners. As some people say to me, commissioners should go to school, and I think that should be part of going to school. I move that we request this.
You want to make a motion as a report of progress?
I'm
What
sorry.
what are you asking at this point?
I'm asking that we request the law department to prepare a pamphlet for board members, police, and legal counsel of licensees on the subject of what is acceptable evidence and not acceptable evidence for hearings held by the License Commission. And that's the end of my, my motion. I would suggest that examples might be useful.
I have a motion by Commissioner Krieger to have the law department prepare a pamphlet for board members, police and legal counsel of licensees on the subject of what is acceptable evidence and not acceptable evidence for the hearings held by the License Commission. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Commissioner McCarthy. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. It may not be a bad idea in doing something like this, that we get together with legal counsel and the board together to come up with something that we're both agreeable with. I think Attorney Veloso's made his points, and I think Commissioner Krieger has made his points, and I'm not sure if the points have come to meet at the middle at this point, so we may want to do some type of a subcommittee or something like that to, if we're going to go that route. Are you amenable to that?
What I would suggest, so that we preserve the privilege attendant to attorney-client communications and also operate within the scope of the open meeting law, I would recommend that the law department prepare something first and then have it disseminated appropriately to the members of the commission, and then invite feedback. We could, just to make sure we're crossing Ts and dotting Is. We'd certainly be happy to take that first cut at the pamphlet
Yep.
raised in the commissioner's motion.
Are you agreeable to that, Commissioner Krieger?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go with that then. All right, thank you.
Second.
Anything else, Ryan, or are we good?
I'm sorry?
Anything else, or are we?
No, that's fine.
All right, motion by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner Hogan to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Everyone have a good night.